Hello everyone, this is my review for Monday Night Raw on January 6, 2014, and this was the old school Raw, where basically they're bringing back the old school set, some of the old school look. You saw and these are things that, I actually really liked, and this was not just in the terms of, you got a mixture of the late 80s, early 90s, and the Attitude Era people being in there as well. Not so much of the Attitude Era this time around, but a lot with the late 80s, early 90s. A lot of the superstars that I, grew up watching initially, which, being Jake the Snake Roberts, Million Dollar Man, the, IRS, and all those other and all the other ones in there. You also got the people from the Attitude Era, such as the New Age Outlaws and the Too Cool and the Godfather being there as well. It was really good to see. It was really good to see, of course, having Ric Flair on there is always a plus as well. It's just fun seeing the old school look every now and again, and I think it was I think it's a nice thing that they do every year to just throw that look out there, just to get something different for the fans to see at some point in time. The different ring ropes, the way they have Michael Cole and JBL dress for the night, the different ring barricade as well, going back to those old metal barricades. It's all really good touches going to show the old school Raw. So for the most part, I really enjoyed the show. You didn't really have anything in the terms of story building wise. You were just seeing a lot of the old school stuff going on. Though they did have some story bits in there, and two areas that I found really disappointing with the show. But I'll get to those as the last portion of the show. One area I really did like was the interaction with Daniel Bryan with the Wyatt family. They had his in-ring debut with him in the six-man tag with the Usos and Rey Mysterio. Fun match to watch, and also a nice little story tidbit that, they're not fully together yet. They're not fully working together in a complete package, where you saw Luke Harper tag in right at the end and then cost themselves the match because they started arguing with each other. And the promo they cut backstage leading into the tag match next week with the Usos and Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan was well delivered, and was just just a great way of continuing on with this story. It made it look like Daniel Bryan really wanted to be part of the Wyatt family, which is what I think they're trying to go for at this point. And that came across in this, and we'll see where they continue on with that storyline. They really, I feel like they really delivered with it, with that in particular this time around. Now, areas I was disappointed in, and this is, I haven't really been speaking about this one for the last few weeks, but I'm, it's growing wary, and I'm not really enjoying it in any way. But maybe it's just how they're how the scripts are written and how the monologues are written. But the Bad News Barrett deal, it's not getting over with me at all. The material he's been given throughout this entire time has just been, it's been awful. He's doing with what he can there. We know Wade Barrett's great on a microphone. We know he's good in the ring as well. But yet, this character with Bad News Barrett, it's not working for me. Like I said, the material has been given as bad. The delivery of the material has not been all that great either. The one good thing that they seem to have with it is that they're trying to make him, be raised to a higher pedestal by putting his stand on a forklift and raising him up as he's coming in. That's the only good portion of this right now. So hopefully, if they're going to continue on with this, hopefully they can come up with some better monologues for him, and hopefully see in the future where it can go, because we know Wade Barrett's really good in the ring, and he's good on the microphone. He's a great talent, and they're really wasting him in this portion right here. Now, the two things that really disappointed me was the usage of Brock Lesnar. From the SmackDown promo, it made it seem like Big E Langston was going to, confront Brock Lesnar over the Mark Henry thing. And yet they just had him in a normal match with Curtis Axel on the night. You didn't even see him during the Brock Lesnar segment, when even after he attacked and brutalized Mark Henry again, and then using the Kimura lock to break his arm and continuing that portion for at least the move being able to break someone's arm, which legitimately it can, but obviously not in this case, not the way that they're using it on Monday Night Raw there. Instead of them, using Big E Langston, who is Mark Henry's friend, you have the Big Show come out. Now, granted, it's an intriguing matchup to have Brock Lesnar and Big Show there, and obviously, in this case, Brock is probably refusing to work with someone who's not considered over at this point, so he probably refused to work with Big E Langston anyway, so they insert Big Show in there. And, it can be interesting, but I feel like they missed out on a pretty good opportunity for them to be able to push Big E Langston or anybody else into a decent spot, not having them necessarily go over Brock Lesnar, but make them at least look decent with against them. So I feel like they've really missed that opportunity there. The last little point I'll be getting to, and it's another little disappointment that I had with the show, and it was more logical than anything else. Why is CM Punk teaming with the New Age Outlaws? And I only say that because it's very well documented on the TV program that the New Age Outlaws are really good friends with Triple H. CM Punk's in this storyline against the Authority at this point in time. So why is he teaming up with two of the Triple H's friends? And they're not trying to pull some little swerve there. It would have been great if they were doing it that way, and then they pulled a swerve at the end of the night, costing them the match, turning heel and everything in that sense. But it really just led to them eventually getting over the Shield after Roman Reigns wins the match and goes over in that way. And then, of course, the interference with, or the afterwards revealing of Jake the Snake Roberts coming back. And which was actually a funny little tidbit in there. He had the interaction with the snake at the end, but and you could definitely hear someone over the camera saying, "Keep it PG, keep it PG." Probably Road Dogg or something like that. You could hear it over the camera though. It was kind of hilarious. But getting back to that, it didn't seem logically right to have CM Punk working with someone who on the show is, they've, like I said, documented before that they are Triple H's friends. They're working there mainly because of Triple H, but yet they're teaming up with CM Punk, who's in a storyline with Triple H, or against the Authority at this point. So it really didn't make any logical sense to me to have CM Punk and the New Age Outlaws together. So yeah, that was pretty much the only areas that I felt were really disappointing to the show. But I mean, just in every other sense of the word, old school Raw. So I really enjoyed it, seeing all the old timers. I love the promo with Ric Flair and Randy Orton. How Ric Flair was putting Orton in his place, and basically making Orton look like a whining, crying baby again. Which is what they've pretty much been doing this entire time. So that came over really well. And yeah, overall, I really did enjoy the show. It was great to see all the old timers back in there. And that's my review this week for Monday Night Raw. I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.